Smoke your loud packs. Double up. Double up. OJ Simpson dead at 76. Also dead at 57. DJ Mr. C, or just Mr. C. Both men of color, both men that uh, Mr. Troy Star Terrain has either met or interviewed or were around at the time when they were in their living phase. But I just want to say, it's finally over. Like the idea of him being, the killer, the murderer, the everything. O.J. Simpson, I'm talking about. O.J. Simpson being, the one that killed two people. He beat a double murder, and that was amazing for him to do that. For him to beat a double murder, and more people, especially white people, would probably appreciate it more if he had got some rings. He was a great athlete. He was like a star, superstar, megastar athlete. I'm looking at all the accomplishments and the highlights and awards he's received. NFL Most Valuable Player of the Year, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 5-time first-time All-Pro, NFL scoring leader, NFL rushing touchdown leader. It goes on and on and on. When he was in college, he got the Heisman Trophy. This man was very, dedicated to the craft of acting. That was a joke. Um, he was in a few Naked Gun movies as a complete buffoon, but I guess he was having fun at the time. But everybody will always remember him for the biggest trial of American history, probably, arguably, the largest trial ever. And Baja Jackson comes in and says, RP to the juice. I don't even have to tell him. I'm gonna just let you guys know. $7.35 is the minimum. I'm going in today. Tonight is wherever you are, it's $7.35 minimum. Can go up to $10, $100, $1,000. Do whatever you got to do. Whatever's in your budget, whatever you can afford. So it's the minimum is $7.35. But yeah, R.I.P. to the Juice. He was the Juice Man. He had the Juice Mobiles. You know, the late great Paul Mooney had jokes about him. Did you hear about OJ? You got another white girl. He said he wanted to take another stab at it. They said that's his joke. That's the late great Paul Mooney's joke. I can't claim you know ownership over that joke. I got another one. He said his son came up to him and said to borrow the car. He said, "All right, go axe your mother. Axe." Also, another joke. I'm trying to remember them all. What was the other one? Thank you, Baha. Yes, he's a smart guy. He's a real smart aleck. He's a smart aleck. He gave me exactly $7.35, and he's giving me much more than that. But I appreciate that even that much. But yeah, so the juice, I'm trying to think of the other joke. I'll come back to it. But the juice is done. 76 years old, alleged prostate cancer. They're not sure. They didn't specify what kind of cancer he died of in the official family statement. But it is presumed that it was prostate cancer that really caught him. But he had a hell of a life. I mean, ups and downs and smiles and frowns. And, he just had the whole gamut. And like I said, the ultimate American soap opera, or the Othello Shakespearean play. That's what we got back in the mid-90s. It was almost a year, 30 years ago. In June, I think it will be, when this whole issue happened, when this whole thing came into focus. Um, but yeah, in June, in June 1994, Simpson was arrested and charged with the murders of let me see, hold on, let me make sure I get the names right. Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Bob Jackson, 76 is long life. He must have honored his mother and father. Hey, I mean, you can say all that. There's some people that live worse lives and disrespected their mother and father, and and lived into their hundreds. So I don't know where you're going right there, Bob Jackson. But I understand what you're saying. But That's like that. That's very the mystical kind of idealism. But I got 10 people in here with 0 likes. What's up? Give me my likes. Give me my likes. I need the likes up, 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 up. Like it up. All the likes. All the likes. 10 people are in here right now. But anyway, so O.J. Simpson, now it's down to 5. It fluctuates. But O.J. Simpson was just an anomaly. He was an outlier. You may not use those terms interchangeably, but I'm using them now, right now. He was like just a great performance, art, athlete. He was he was just like he just seemed like to project. I'm a straight man, I'm a heterosexual man, but I can say he was handsome, he was good looking, he was a good looking guy. I don't think my nuts are gonna fall off by just saying that. I'm not even gonna pause. He was a good looking guy. He could get, and Nicole Brown Simpson wasn't too bad on the eyes either. She was a bit of a hoe, let's admit. Let's not get it twisted. And he maybe not have been the brightest person in the room, but he definitely probably had enough swag, enough soul about him, to get. And the late great Paul Mooney said, he hasn't been black since he was 17. So, and this is like 30 years, about 29, 30 years ago, when he was talking about the case, and he was saying how he had to get medical care and legal action against the Simpson estate for the headache of the trial, having it broadcast to 95 million people. There wasn't even there was like, I'm trying to think. There's 300 million people in America right now. In the 90s, there was probably like 195 to 200 or 200 something million people. My math could be wrong. Baja Jackson gets on me because of my math. I'm terrible at math. But that during that period, that's all you saw. You just remember that white Bronco moving very, not in this fast clip, and then there's a whole track of police cars trailing them. And you're just like wondering. He's got the gun to his head. He's got his former, he's got his diaper buddy. He's got his teammate on, dropped behind the wheel. I think his name Cole. Let me make sure I get his name right. Driver. Al Cowling. Al Cowling was the one. Al Cowling was the one that drove O.J. Simpson during that, amazing, just spectacular. I mean, spectacle of a chase that really wasn't like a high speed chase. It just dragged on. You just see that white Bronco moving along and all these flashing lights, going behind it, and it just took you to another level, and it just was a complete, like I said, it was a complete tragedy. It was the whole thing. No matter how you look at it, it was like a Greek tragedy or Shakespearean tragedy or August Wilson tragedy. So many different things. And there were so many papers written about it. So many newspapers, columns, and articles, and TV spots, and everything. It was just amazing. It was just like, just imagine if Nicole Brown Simpson was a black woman, his first wife, Marguerite. And they had a son named Aaron who drowned in the pool in 1979. Okay, or either in the 70s or 80s, I can't remember exactly. But the child drowned, and that precipitated probably their divorce. But if it was Marguerite and OJ, it'd be like, oh well, that black bitch deserved it. Oh well, who cares? But it's a white woman, black man. Oh my God. Everything is going to go crazy now. This is hysteria. This is out of the normal. This is out of the range of possibility. And it came down to, and it's still within popular culture, how black people and black men especially, and white women shouldn't even be, considered to be romantically involved. This is seen in the movie Poor Things. If anybody has gone out to see the movie or sat on your bed, actually, you don't have to go out. I'm seeing Poor Things, And I'm thinking, uh, Gerard Carmichael's character is probably going to get a little bit of something. Everybody else has gotten a turn. Why he's going to get a little something too, right? Not exactly. He got a kiss on the cheek, and like he was her brother or something like that. It just little things like that get me. I mean, even in the movie Get Out. Get Out had a story about an interracial couple, and they seemed like they were very happy and everything. And things don't go well. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just going. If you haven't seen Get Out, things don't go exactly as planned with the interracial couple. So it's within in the code. It goes back to Jungle Fever, which is bullshit because we're all not fully white or all fully black or brown or red or yellow or what anything. We're all mixed up in mutts in anyway. So people could be white as white Joe Biden white. You super white, but his great 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 grandmother could have been Sally Hemings, and then they just started marrying white people and more. The next generation married white, and the next generation married white, and the blood just kept on getting thinner from the black side. But your great 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 grandmother, nobody wants to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about. Oh, my great grandmother was Creole and Indian and all this stuff. And oh, my great grandmother was Irish and Italian and all these different things. Nobody wants to say about their old crusty black, charcoal black, ebony, beautiful grandmother that was on their mother's side. Nobody wants to talk about her. But I digress. O.J. Simpson, he just there's memes. Here's another joke. Norm Macdonald went hit in during the whole time of the O.J. trial going against O.J. He said, here's a joke from him. He said, O.J. Simpson can finally rest in peace, knowing that the killer of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson is dead. So it's little jokes like that, it's alleviates it because it's such a weird, goofy, strange, out of control, atmosphere that was created within O.J. Simpson because he was such a wonderful, phenomenal athlete. Nobody could mess with him. I'm trying to keep it clean. Nobody could step to him on his level. But the problem is he played for the Buffalo Bills for the majority of his career. And as we know about the Buffalo Bills, they get so close. They are the ultimate bridesmaids. They're ultimate bridesmaids. They get, they're never the ones to get the ring. They lost 2 Super Bowls in a row before. And this is after his career, of course, but I'm saying. And actually during the time period of, his whole quagmire, I guess you can call it, or I don't even, it could be something even worse than a quagmire, but, he had that whole thing going for him, as being a wonderful athlete. Nobody could top. He had multiple rushing awards, leading rushers. He was a great um, tail end. Let me make sure I get that right. I'm not good with all the positions on football. I'm not going to lie. He was a good tail end. He did a great job on that gridiron. He did an excellent job on the gridiron. He was an excellent performer. He had his own cleats. He had the Juice Mobiles. Mr. Troy Sarterain said he had a pair of Juice Mobiles. So like he was like a precursor to like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, of course, and LeBron James and so many, Kobe Bryant, all the ones that had a sneaker. He had his own cleat. He had the Juice Mobiles back in the 70s and early 80s. So that was really cool. He had the Hertz commercial. The late great Paul Mooney even joked and said that wasn't him running through the airport. That was a double. He's got bad knees. So I mean, I'm not laughing at the fact that he died. That I'm not gonna laugh on anybody's demise unless it was like Hitler or something like that. And then you just kind of just have reverence for the fact that he's finally dead. But I think he wanted to escape life, and he wanted to do it on his own terms. And I think he really wanted to show that in his mind, I mean, and this is legit, he was acquitted of double murder of 2 white people. Okay, let's get that factual. Because in the past, in all of American history, black men, whether you're guilty or not, have been shot, set ablaze, had their shot, had their genitals stuffed in their mouth, set ablaze, and hung from a tree. I'm trying to say in that order. So for him to do something like be acquitted and have a black lawyer who had Jews, this is what the late great Paul Mooney was saying too. He was saying how, he had the possibility of having blacks and Jews together. Now, when you get blacks and Jews together in a closet with them, they'll come out with wearing your clothes. Like, that's the power of blacks and Jews, because the blacks and Jews are very cohesive. That's what I don't understand about the artist formerly known as Kanye West. Yay. Because Jews and blacks have very similar experiences. If you go to the award shows and the movies, or writing a novel, or if you're going to get a Nobel Prize, it's probably because you wrote a story about the Holocaust or slavery in America. So there's that connection with Jews and foundational Black Americans, FBA. There is that connection that's very strong. I have to read some. It's okay. Wow, your eyelids must be strong. Salute to Scholar for keeping his foot on YouTube's neck. That's right. Nason the Great, the enthusiast. So both of you, the house minimum is $7.35. I'm trying to get a MacBook Pro. I'm trying to get my credit card down, and it's all for a good cause. It's all for my bank account. So I appreciate if you just give $7.35. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm going to ask. $7.35 to everyone out there. At least $7.35. All right, you know that. All right. So, O.J. Simpson, he had, I know, 10 people. I see that, Doc Focus. I see that. I see it. Salute to you, sir. I just like throwing up the rock. I've been throwing up the rock since I was like in 8th grade. I used to just throw up the rock, like, cause it's like, what's up? But yes, hit that like button. I got 6 likes, 9 people now. It used to be 11 people. I'm trying to get as many people as possible. But yeah, it's all about the OJ pack, and then once I get to the next part of the show, I'm gonna talk about Mr. C. But I want to make sure you guys hit that OJ pack. That OJ pack is loud. It's got to be loud because he lived a loud life. He went to jail. This dumb nigger, this stupid nigger. He wasn't that bright. He had beat a double murder of white people. A white woman, a gorgeous white woman. She was good looking. She was a good looking white woman. And her friend, Ron Goldman. That's all they say, and her friend. If you read any article, they say Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, Ron Goldman. It's like, what's up with that? I don't understand. But anyway, he beat a double murder charge. He lost in the civil suit. He lost. He had to give them, the families, Goldman and Brown. He actually had a book come out a little. I think it was in the mid 2000s or late 2000s. If I Did It, and they bought the rights to it. They have the rights to the book. If I Did It, and they lowercase the IF. They like minimized it, and they said I did it in like bold letters, and they own the copyright to that. So that's just a little bit of my research. I do research. So don't think you're just getting I'm just pulling this out of nowhere. I'm trying to get money out of here, but the reason why I get money is because I do the work. I want to put in work for y'all. I want to make sure I put in the work. So he said I only think about the late great Paul Mooney. He was like how O.J. Simpson was talking on the phone. He was talking about how he was like, I'm gonna get my stuff. These jive turkeys, they got my memorabilia. Like he was talking like he was from the 1970s still. And O.J. Simpson had the idea of being just an imbecile to me. He wasn't bright, and it showed in the Naked. Just look at the Naked Gun. He didn't have to act. He was that dullard. He was a dullard. He's a great athlete, great. You know, he had a great mind for the field. You have to have a mind for the field. I'm not saying that athletes are dumb. That's ridiculous. You have to when you're on the field, you have to know what's going on, especially in football. Football is a strategic game. You have to know where the players are, where the ball is, what time it is. All of that has to congeal, and all the plays, all of that has to combine into one. So, I think that he was off the field, just not too quick on the draw. What he spent. I did the research, but I can't remember exactly right now how long he was in jail. I'll look it up right now. How long was OJ in jail? Okay, so he went in. He was convicted in 2008, and let me see. He served 9 years. He was in jail. He was in prison for 9 years. This is a nigga that just beat murder charges. And he could have just been scot-free, just cool. It's ridiculous. It's wild. He had the money. He still had money coming in. I think he had I'm not, just don't correct me with your X fingers, your YouTube fingers in the comment section. But I think he had a pension with the NFL. Like he got like $75,000 a year, something crazy like that. Don't hold me to it, but I think that was the case. Please, research that for me. But I think I heard that before. I think he gets like he used to get $75,000 a year at least. Just from being in the NFL. AF twice says OJ heard an episode of your show and killed himself. Thank you for the hate. I needed the hate. Thank you for that, AF twice. Keep hating. Keep hating. The enthusiast, brother, you making money doing this or not yet? I am. I made over $1,000 doing this, tax free. That's the best part. I'm trying to do Facebook. I'm about to represent my Facebook status. And then disable it when it gets to 600. When it gets to $600, I'm out of there. But for that year, yeah. So, and I'm not your brother, by the way, enthusiast. And you ask your questions. Any other questions you ask, they're gonna have to attach with $7.35. Yes, here we go. See, nice. How long have you been on this? I've just asked the question, but I'm asking you right now. $7.35. $7.35, Mr. The Enthusiast. I gave you 2 free squares. Rick James is saying, he said, okay, Simpsons packs. Okay, I am not late. You are late. Almost 30 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. That's what, how much time I've been on here. Almost half an hour. So, you got to be smoking on the OJ Simpson pack, not OK Simpsons packs. And also, Mr. C, I said double up. Double up on OJ and Mr. C. Because he's going to be remembered for what? I'll tell you in a moment. See, that's the teaser. That's a little bit of a radio move. That was teasing you, just teasing you a little bit. See how much time you'll spend just to see what I'm talking about later on. He was innocent. I will take that to my grave. Yeah, well, the law said he was innocent, so you can't say he's not. You can say, he's guilty all you want. He was guilty all you want, but the fact remains he was acquitted. He was cleared on all charges. Then his dumbass went to prison for 9 years. Like, who does that? He was free and clear. Free and clear. He was a great guy. Well, I don't know if he was a great guy. He didn't, revolutionize the way telephones are used or the internet services. There's a white man. I'll look him up. He died at the age of 95. He was a Nobel Prize winner, Nobel Prize laureate. Peter Higgs, Nobel-winning physicist on a subatomic hunt, dies at. This guy died in 94. There's another one that died in 95. Herbert Kromer developed laser tech. See, he wasn't. O.J. Simpson wasn't Herbert Kromer. Okay, let's not get it confused. These are actually people that changed the world. It's all good to be an athlete and change your own life and make yourself better and do things that are great on the court or the field or the ice or anything like that. Beautiful, great, uh, it's wonderful, great. But you're not a physicist. You're not a chemist. You're not a physician. You're not that, and that's just a fact. It's the reality. And the other thing is, it's like athletes get paid. Just people always wonder that. It's like, why do physicists and stuff like that and neuroscientists and they get paid what, maybe $200,000, $300,000 a year? Most athletes get paid $300 million a year. You know, look at what is his name? Otani, is that his name? Yeah, Otani. He's worth like $750 million for what? Did he cure cancer? Did he solve the AIDS epidemic? Did he what did he do to warrant that much money? But the thing is, it's about economics. Economics will always win throughout the day, no matter what. It's about what people value. That's why athletes get paid so much money, and why neurophysicists and scientists and chemists and they don't get as much money, because of the fact that they don't they're even though they can put in as much work and effort as possible and change humanity, save the lives of millions if not billions of people, it just comes down to numbers. It comes down to what value system is. That's how athletes get paid so much money. No, O.J. Simpson, we wouldn't have modern day basketball. What are you talking about? Rick James, you were really on the dust today. What did he have to do with basketball? What are you talking about? You were on something strong. I disagree with that, sir. You meant sir. You can't disagree with it. It's a fact. It's a fact. I always wondered it myself. Then I figured out through objectivism, through reality, through truth, the reality of the basics of finance and the basics of economics is that people get paid based on their value, based on what the market says, whatever the market says. The market doesn't value, sadly, I mean, it's just a fact, it's sad, but chemists and neuroscientists and physicians and physicists, they're not valued within the culture. Not as much. Not as much. But back to OJ. OJ. Oh my God. OJ, if I was a mystified person, I'd be like, precious Lord, lead me on, take my hand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm worn. I would be like that for his funeral is gonna be lit. For some reason, I think it's gonna be lit. Watch the Goldmans and the Brown family, put pickets up like the Westboro Baptist Church used to do. Watch them do that. Watch them like try to protest his funeral. And did you see the daughter? I'm sorry, she's a big back. She's a big. And maybe I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. She probably eats her emotions and her pain. She probably eats a lot. I was just talking about this the other day. The big back broads. She probably eats her emotions. But she's kind of husky. She's a little on the husky side. So she was. I think she changed now. I think she had a weight loss plan, and now she's totally different. She was very heavy, and then nowadays I think she's much slimmer. She's trim now. But hey, okay, he's in the upper room with Jesus. He's in the bosom of Abraham. If you're a believer, I'm a non-believer, but if you believe in Jesus and Allah and Moses and all the other messengers, he's right up there. I'm not going to cry for him like Paul Rubens, but he's right up there with the late great Matthew Perry and Susan Summers. Well, they're in different categories, and I'm not going to cry over OJ or Mr. C. Even though they're two niggers. I don't have a. They had no personal connection to me. I don't have any personal connection to them. Just like I don't cry over no crackers. I don't have any sympathy for somebody that was just not that bright. Just couldn't get his life right. I don't know. He was such a phenomenal athlete, but off the field, his life was just in turmoil all the time. Like there was alleged abuse of against Nicole. He allegedly beat her. He was saying all this kind of crazy stuff against her. It's just wild. It's a whole wild situation, and that's why I think it's so amazing is the fact that you know um, all these different people that come out and try to be athletes and try to think of that they probably had O.J. Simpson on their wall when they're growing up. They probably had an understanding of the basics and the advanced ideas behind football in both cases and how well O.J. Simpson played. That's the reason why. But like I said, there wouldn't have been such an outrage, or there wouldn't have been such a thing if, especially in Buffalo, if he had won 2 or 3 rings at least one ring. But 2 or 3 would have been nice. But he didn't win any rings. He was ringless. He's completely ringless. But he's at rest now. He doesn't have to worry about are the Goldmans and the Browns going to come after me, or are people going to steal my memorabilia, or people are going to chastise and talk about my name, and I've been lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, as a final word on O.J. Simpson, nigga, you had a great life. You threw it all away, but it came back to you. And then you threw it all away again, and and it came back to you. And finally, the scourge of the earth, cancer, was the answer to your problems. That's all I'm going to say. Now I got to talk about all us black people are related in one way or another. I hope you know that. I'm not a black person. I'm a black person only with the racism, but not by race. And that's a thing we'll get into another time. But I'm a black person by racism, but not by race, because there is no such thing as race. There's only the human race. Be right back. Have to drop off $1,000 to ballet. Okay, great. Mr. C. Mr. C. Rock and power to you, sir. He had New York, going crazy on Flop 97. But he did the goddamn thing. But what does he remember for? Transgender sexual encounters. That's the thing with in life. What do you most remember for? You can do all the great things. You can do all these wonderful, amazing achievements and wonderful things. You do one thing, that is, controversial or something like that. And that's all people are going to remember you for. If you do 2 or 3 things that are controversial, that's all people are going to remember you for. Not for your efforts to better somebody's life, not for your efforts to better your own life. Oh, there's an ideal. To be selfish for once. That's something that's interesting. Try to be a selfish person that's virtuous and good. That's people still don't understand how selfishness is a virtue. But Mr. C, he had the wheels of steel, and they had some people go back and forth about Biggie being bisexual. Mr. C and Biggie had relationship that was professional. That he produced for Biggie. He spun records for Biggie. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. They were around Diddy. It was a special time period during the 90s. People were it was a different atmosphere. It was a different way of life, different living conditions, and people were to the point where Mr. C who was a great DJ, one of the best DJs in the world. Yes, yes, yes. AF Twice is smoking a C Simpson and hybrid pack. That's what I want you to do. I said you're gonna have to hit a double pack today, because OJ Simpson is and Mr. C, and I'm gonna try to bridge them both together. I'm gonna try to make a cohesive understanding of both men. Like I said before, um, you're going to be known for something. One thing, you're going to always be known for one thing, usually, because people don't have enough time. You can do great things, even if they're positive. Like Toni Morrison. What was she most remembered for? One book, Beloved. She wrote like 12 books or 15. I don't know how many. She wrote a lot of books. She was one of my favorite authors. But she'll always be remembered, for one thing, Nobel Prize winning. She made me the Nobel Prize laureate. She was a Nobel Prize laureate for literature. She'll be remembered for that. But at the same time, the reason why she was awarded the Nobel Prize for literature is because of that book, Beloved. That was what sealed it. That garnered her the Pulitzer. And then once she had written Jazz, it was a wrap. It was over with. It was a done deal. It was over. So I have to really, state, how much, power and acclaim that both of these men wielded. They both wielded. They both warranted, ink spilled by the New York Times. When you get ink spilled by the New York Times, you did something right at some point during your life. Unless you're a complete, villain or a felon or something like that, and you're evil, then they do a write up on you as well. But for the most part, if you're written in the New York Times, it's for a good thing, or at least partial good thing. They even in their I think it's in my subject line. It was the riveting trial of the century or something like that. Salute. Keith, when did you find out? What? Hold on, wait. I never get the time right. Hold up. And it's 6:16 in the morning. 6 in the morning, my mouth closed. So I don't even know how it goes, but 6 in the morning, just now. Okay, from me, you're hearing this from me. Am I breaking news right now? Did I just break news? You owe me at least $50, sir. I'm just messing with you. I know you don't do the dollars, but I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this monumental show I'm doing. If I must say so myself, I'm doing a great job breaking down OJ and Mr. C. See, because you're understanding about Mr. C as well. Mr. C had a thing for the trans people. I don't know if he had a thing for the guy that turned into a girl. Maybe that was the case. Or the girl that turned into a guy. Doesn't really matter. He's dead now. But, it makes you wonder sometimes. But, you're broke. I know. You'll come around, though. Greg S. was broke, too. Greg S. said, I'll give him $7.35. You'll come around. That's the house minimum, $7.35. Until it goes up. I might bring it up to $10.15. But I'll put it 10 cents more in the United States minimum wage. The United States minimum wage, as far as I know, is $7.25. I think that's correct. I'm looking for right now. $7.20. I put a dime extra to the minimum wage. The minimum amount for me to answer your questions is $7.25. Is $7.35. If you want your questions answered, $7.35. That's all you have to do. Send it to my PayPal. My PayPal, $SkylerSaunders1. Again, that's Skyler Saunders 1. $Skyler Saunders 1. PayPal, PAY.me/P SKYLERSAUNDERS. All right, back to the show. Whew, Mr. C, man, he was a phenomenal DJ. He kept the party. He kept Flop 97 from completely, going bankrupt. He was spinning records along with, of course, Funkmaster Flex. So just to see him, his life was pretty sad. I think because just again, it's the blues. This is all blues. This is the why the black man invented the blues. Okay, O.J. Simpson's story, the blues. All that is a blues story. Mr. C's his life, blues. It's all blues. It's all a blues story. This it's like August Wilson, the two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. He said, and I'm going to paraphrase. I always get this messed up, but he said like Balboa. He had a story. It was a short story. I'm looking it up right now. Actually, I'm gonna make sure I get it right. He said, I once wrote a short story called The Best Blues Singer in the World. And it went like this. The streets that Balboa walked were his own private ocean. Hold on. Come on. All right, so here it is. I'm going to just shift a little bit. I'm going to shift. He said, I once wrote a short story called The Best Blues Singer in the World. And it went like this. The streets that Balboa walked were his own private ocean, and Balboa was drowning. End of story. That says it all. Nothing else to say. I've been rewriting that same story over and over again. All my plays are rewriting that same story. That is life. That is actual reality. That is facts. That is truth. That is what's the condition of humanity. Not just black people, but humanity. Humanity. Any story, any drama, any comedy, anything that we create that makes a story, it has to involve some kind of elements of the blues. Something negative, something, that's not great, but you still achieve greatness despite that. Or you have the opportunity to achieve it. So that's like with Mr. C. He'll be always thought of. Didn't he get down with transgenders? Didn't he get arrested for that? Didn't he? And he had a whole life about being in the closet from being a bisexual man of color. He was Caribbean. He was from the West Indies. His family is from the West Indies. That only compounded the issue. That only made it worse. That made it worse. That just took it to another level. That just made it, 10 times harder for him to realize who he was. And that's really sad. Because I'm really, confident in myself as a heterosexual man. Like, I never had an issue. I think every guy has ever said, what is this gay thing? But you think about it for 10 seconds and you're like, all right, I'm not. And you keep moving. Or if they are and say, you're gay, it's like, well, I'm gay. Or I'm transgender and I want to get an operation and I want to get, that's your business. You should be happy and joyful in your own spirit. I love the quote from Cecily Strong. I was always saying, oh, I'm an ally for gay and straight, LGBTQ. She said, I'm just a human being. Simple as that. You're a human being. You should be able to meet your fellow human beings and respect them for whatever choices, whatever preferences, whatever idealism, whatever livelihood or lifestyle. I don't. Maybe those aren't the correct words, but whatever the position they're in, just be a human being. You don't have to say you're an ally. Just be a human being. And Mr. C, I think he was just caught up in that. He was very, conflicted. He was a lost soul. And if you read my vocal article, by the way, plug there, I talk about that. I talk about how he came up in a hostile environment again with hip hop. Hip hop is very, pause, no homo, all that, and in reality, there was the Banji Boys, and there was Homo Thugs, and all these different things like that. And we act like we don't know. And I think it's gotten better, though. I think with more people, coming out, people like Frank Ocean being a singer, and having rappers like Jay-Z accept him, pushing Jay-Z pushing for marriage of same sexes, like his mother. He was talking about his mother. He didn't care about if it's a him or her, um, and so many other people within the fan bases. Nicki's Barbs. How many of her Barbs are gay men? And I'm proud of it, and are flamboyant or reserved or whatever the hell they want to be. That's the thing. That's the ticket. That's the reality of it. So when you take into account the idea of Mr. C being someone who was just unhappy with himself because he couldn't fully express who he really was. That's sad. That's the blues. That really is the blues. But the blues isn't necessarily all about being sad or even making yourself feel happy. It's about philosophy. It's about understanding life. That's from August Wilson as well. It's about understanding life. And Mr. C, I think he had his good days and he had his bad days. He had hills to climb. He had some worry days and some sleepless nights. But when he looked around and thought things over, all of his good days outweighed his bad days. He did not complain. I just gave you a whole gospel song. Y'all owe me like $50 to $100 for saying a whole gospel lick. Oh my God. It's and I say oh my God because I'm an atheist and I can say oh my God. I can say God bless you. I can say all kinds of shit. It's the same thing. It doesn't make a difference either way. It's not like some real God is gonna appear or something like that. My shoulder. Ooh, I feel something in my shoulder, and I can't hear it. I can't hear it. Oh my God, no, seriously. But that's it. Correction: Jim Brown and OJ are two of the GOAT AFL players. Are you correcting me, Keith? Jim Brown. I didn't say he was the GOAT. He didn't win. He didn't even have any rings. I don't know how many rings did Jim Brown have. Jim Brown. I never said he was the GOAT. And Jim Brown was a champion. He has one ring. He won in 1964. He died last year. But OJ, he kept up a good front. Just like Mr. C. Mr. C kept up a good front. They showed themselves like who they weren't. And, try to go through life just like that. But in the end, it wasn't. The GOAT at their positions, running backs. But, wait a minute, hold on. OJ. I'm trying to look for it right now. I think. Hold on. I'm looking for it right now. Don't worry about it. I got you. All. I'm just making sure it's. Okay, I'm looking for it right now. I'm still looking for it. This is how I can connect. I just remembered this. O.J. Simpson's father was a well-known drag queen. This is according to Wikipedia. In the San Francisco Bay Area. Later on in life, Jimmy Simpson announced that he was gay. He died of AIDS in 1986. So, that's a little bit of a bridge. That's kind of a bridge. Not like this Francis Scott Key bridge. But That's a little bit of a bridge between O.J. Simpson and Mr. C, which you should all be smoking the loudest of packs by now. You should be smoking those packs. But he probably had to deal with that, and that's where his aggression came from. He was able to play, OJ was able to play on the field, and the opposite I think happened for Mr. C. I don't think he became aggressive. I think he just became, forlorn or melancholic. He was very saddened at the fact that he was a bisexual or a gay man, and he couldn't express himself. That's why I understand why they say pride. I always say like, oh come on, you can't be proud of your sexual designation or something like that. You can't be proud of the fact that you're gay, lesbian, queer, transgender, bisexual, whatever the case may be. And then I'm like, I'll give it to him. I put an asterisk next to it, but I'm just saying. Hold on, I'm gonna take this back. He was a running back. Okay, so he was a running back, but it said he was a tight end somewhere. But anyway, um, um, but anyway, I'm only giving props to OJ. Okay, I can't stop you. Can't stop you. I'm already breaking news to you, so I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to be able to break news to you. I appreciate that. But yeah. So Mr. C, he definitely lived a life that was in the shadows and in the spotlight at the same time. I don't know how he did that. He was spinning records, and that's the thing people are starting to realize. I think now they're starting to realize that it doesn't matter what if you're LGBTQ plus. It doesn't matter if you can be on Jeopardy, if you can be on if you can be on the football field, or you can be on the basketball court. Now you have to be good. Like they're making a big to do with the first openly gay NBA player, uh, Jason Collins, but he wasn't that good. He didn't play well. I mean, that'd be something extraordinary if he was actually a good player. But nobody cares if you're gay. Who cares? So what if you're gay? Nobody cares. Be gay. Nobody's stopping you. I mean, they shouldn't be stopping you. You can get married. I don't think you should be able to get divorced, but no, that's a joke. um, but yeah. So yeah, Mr. C had New York, dancing and grooving and able to get through their work week and stuff like that, and through the night. And he would play soulful music. I'm sure he played, this song right here like sums up to what he was. It's uh Donny Hathaway. Someday we'll all be free. I think they should play that at his funeral. That would definitely bring the house down. I'd probably have people wailing and falling into the aisle and going back and forth, and because that song, it just resonates. If you just listen to just look that up. Look up the lyrics to Donny Hathaway. Someday we'll all be free. He was talking about himself from a psychological standpoint, from a mental health standpoint, being free, not just people being the chains be broken from oppression and stuff like that, but you're within your own mind. Someday we'll all be free. Keith says, I think that OJ played both positions, but he was utilized more at the running back position. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, he was definitely he was a killer running back. He was a killer. National Football League MVP. No rings. No rings, especially for Buffalo. Like I said, let me who beat them? I think it was the Cowboys and then the 49. I think so. Buffalo. And they went to the Super Bowl, I think 4 times in a row. I could be wrong. They their fourth straight Super Bowl, and this is after OJ had left the field. So this is the rundown. This is after OJ's career. I'm gonna give you a rundown. He stopped in 1979, so it was a long time ago. And then let me see the Buffalo in the 90s. Yeah, the Cowboys beat them back to back, like stomped on them pretty much too. 52-17, 30-13. It's nasty. It's nasty like that. But yeah, the Giants beat them in 91. The Redskins beat them in 92. And of course, like I said, the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys trouncing in Super Bowls. What is that? 27 and 28. But I digress. I digress sometimes. But yeah, so in all of this, we have to say that these two black men of color who lived in America had great lives, no matter what. You can't deny it. And not just because of the money, but the money is part of it, but because they were able to achieve something that was greatness. And at some point in their lives, they achieved greatness that was not surpassed by too many people. And they had terrible interactions with human beings at some point in their life. Terrible situations. They seem to have overcome them, but at the same time, the stigma will always remain. And it's not even like it's one thing is OJ. OJ is the real stigma. He 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 was acquitted of killing 2 people. He was acquitted, but that will always be a contention. Nicole and Ron were unalived on my 16th birthday. I think you can put killed. I think you can put killed. I'm pretty sure you can with this chat. This chat, I think you can. I'm not sure though. Baha Jackson. But on his 16th birthday, oh my god, that's crazy. But yeah. So for all the the bluster and rage and terror by night, there's always the morning. That's how the gospel songs go. But and that gospel came off of the blues. But these were 2 bluesmen. They're living the life of a bluesman. They weren't. Mr. C was technically a musician. The Wheels of Steel, the DJ. That's considered an instrument now. Has been, for the past almost 15 years, I think, something like that, or even more. But they declared that the turntable to be an instrument. After many petitions by people like Funkmaster Flex and Grandmaster Caz. I can't think of his. I'm trying to think of it. Grandmaster Flash. Excuse me. That's who I was thinking of. Grandmaster Flash. He had words to say about Mr. C. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him. He was known as the finisher. All right. Oh, see, they got a video. God damn it. I don't need a video. R.I.P. to the legend, 50 Cent said, God bless him. And there goes the God. To all his family and friends, I send my condolences. Big Daddy Kane, who worked closely with C, pause, at the height of his career, and other DJs like Jazzy Jeff and Grandmaster Flash shared additional messages of love and support. So that's DJ Mr. C, you will be missed. That's what DJ Grandmaster Flash said. All right, so I want to see how much I got in an hour. I appreciate it. I already got $7.35. I appreciate that from Baja Jackson. He's definitely a supporter. He says Mr. C likes girls with instruments. Okay, that's interesting. Baja, I never said he did do it. Okay, but anyway, I appreciate all of you, and I will check on you tomorrow at an earlier time or maybe a later time. We'll see. Thank you very much. Take care.